Good morning, y'all. Today is August 12th, Farmers Market Day. Had a little weather system move through this morning, but it looks like it's mostly dry. We might get a little band of rain during the market, but it should be a pretty good day. Temperature-wise, feels nice, it's just kind of humid. Farmers market went really well this morning. There was about a half-hour blip though where a storm was rushing in and the wind was really bad. So thank you to the people who helped hold my tent down. I really appreciate that. There were a couple tents that flew off. Just the wind was crazy, but it cleared up and turned out to be really sunny for the last hour and a half or two. But anyway, out on the farm now. Gonna go ahead and move the chicken tractors, feed and water, and grab eggs. So update on this chicken that was injured. She is sitting next to the water bowl. So that is awesome to see. She got off her nest and looks like most likely got a drink. So I'd say that's some good improvement. While she's hanging out up front, I'm gonna go ahead and move the coop real quick. Well, y'all, my hose is on, but I don't have any pressure. So let's see if we can find out what's going on. The connection looks fine. Still in. That would do it. Well, let me put that back up. She's up walking, y'all. All these chickens in the way though. Looks like she's heading for the water. I put the water and food a little more central in the coop. Oh, she is getting water good. Just so that way she wouldn't have to walk as far. But yeah, that makes me happy to see. Hey Rusty. So this beehive out here, looking around, if I order a bee online and have it shipped, it's gonna be about $100 just for one queen bee. That seems a little crazy, especially because once I put the queen in, will this colony accept her? Will she have enough time to produce enough to get this colony to make it through winter? There's a lot of what ifs on getting another queen late in the season and spending $100 on it, when for another $100 I could have an entire package of bees with a queen. So that's kind of hard to justify. I've been looking around at a lot of local beekeepers. So far, no one's had anything. At the farmer's market today, there's another beekeeper there. I asked him if he'd potentially have any queens available. He said maybe once he combines some hives, he might have an extra queen. But if you're combining hives, it's usually because one hive isn't doing so great, which means you probably have a bad queen. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with these guys exactly. I may just stick them on top of the mixed hive on my other property. We'll see how it goes, but doing all I can at the moment to help them out, even though they have a bad queen in there. Howdy y'all, today is August 14th. I'm at my parents' chicken coop at the moment, where I've had this Americana hen over here for about, I think 3 months at this point. And I'm going to take her out with all the other Americanas today, plus the other two. I think I have 2 more hens in with all those roosters. Grab them, and then take these 3 out to their new home. So this chicken back here was the one that was severely injured by the Americana rooster I had. He just got really aggressive with her for some reason and was grabbing the back of her neck, and I could see her skull, I could see where her beak attached, like all the tendons, all the muscles, her entire back of her head, down her neck. I thought for sure she wasn't gonna make it. My biggest worry was infection, but it's healed up really nice. I don't think she's gonna grow any feathers back on some of the spots, but I mean, she's as good as she's gonna get on that part, but she's totally fine now. So I'm gonna go ahead and get her reacquainted with everybody. So this is what she looks like now. So yeah, I think that's just all scar tissue at this point, but it's healed up really nice, and she hasn't grown any feathers back. I've been waiting to see if anything does, but I think this is about it. So I'm really happy that she pulled out of that one. The chicken that was injured ran right out. She's already hanging in the back. I'm kind of wondering if she remembers all of her friends in here, and if they remember her, because it's been a few months, but so far there hasn't been any hazing going on. You can see her. Can't hardly tell on the camera. So far so good. The only reason I've been slightly worried about it is when they do their pecking order, they typically peck each other on the head. And then the one that gets pecked can either stand up to that chicken and peck them back, and they kind of go back and forth till one backs down. Or the one that gets pecked can just run away. So that's how they establish the order, but there's absolutely nothing going on. So I think she's good. She's chowing down on grass. She hasn't been on that one in a while. But these two new ones are a little hesitant. They were crazy catching them, by the way. They were flipping and flying everywhere. It's probably why these guys are the last ones. But everything else at the other coop looks like roosters, so I think these are all the Americanas I have. Checking in on the pearl whites now. See if I can find the one chicken that wasn't doing so good. I think it was this one. She's definitely perking up. Seems like she's doing better every day. Getting around a lot better. I love seeing that. Gonna go ahead, grab their food, water, move them, and refill them. Well, y'all, it's been 10 minutes. I don't know if it's gonna work out for this girl. They've already, you can see just a little spot. A couple more pecks, it might open it right back up. There's really not much I can do, so I don't know if she's gonna be able to hang out in this coop. Yeah, that's just a bummer. So she's scared to death, so she's hanging with me. Probably, I have like a dog crate that I'll put her in for now outside the coop. That way she can get some grass on her own, and then when I head out, I'll take her back with me. But yeah, it's just not gonna work. All right, time to pack this chicken up and go. Howdy out, today is August 15th. Just out doing chores right now, filling up the chicken's water. The pearl white hen that was injured, she's still a little slower than the rest of the chickens, but she gets around just fine. She gets up on the nesting box, down on the roost bar. She moves with the coop when I pull it forward. She eats, drinks, intermingles with everybody. She just walks a little slower than everybody else, but she's gonna make it, I feel like. So I feel good about that one. I've got everybody moved at this point. You can see the lines where they've come from. And yeah, pretty simple day today. So let's talk bees for a minute. Last week, when I got into this hive over here, I was telling you guys they're struggling and I was gonna get a queen. I had emailed a beekeeper that was one county to the north. He wrote back, said he couldn't find any extras laying around, didn't know of anybody that had any extra queens laying around. So said thanks, I'll keep looking. I tried a beekeeper in my county and didn't have any luck with that either. So, well, he just never emailed me back. So then at the farmer's market on Saturday, it just popped into my head, wait a minute, there's another beekeeper here, and he's selling honey. He's only been there for 2 weeks, so not too terribly long. So I was talking to him, said, you wouldn't happen to have an extra queen laying around, would you? And he said, I might, let me check. So anyway, he called me yesterday. I missed his call, and then I forgot to call him back, but I called him today, and he does have a couple extra queens, but not just that. He actually has a horizontal hive. So what I use, these are called Langstroth hives. So you build from the bottom going up. Horizontal, obviously you're going left to right. And he has a horizontal hive that actually has 2 colonies in it. So what he's going to do is, I think he already has a nucleus colony, which is basically, if you remember what I got these in, they came on 5 frames and it's like half the size of this box. But he's also going to add that second colony with that queen into it, so it's kind of like I'm getting a really nice starter hive. So I think I'm just gonna pop them on top of this hive. I'll see what he suggests, but that's kind of the thinking, because these guys definitely need some help. I don't really just need a new hive, I need help for this hive. So I'll probably just pop them on top and smash this queen because she's doing a terrible job, and then introduce everybody to the new queen and get everyone acquainted, and fingers crossed that they'll make it through the winter now. After the farmer's market on Saturday, I'm just gonna follow him over to his property. He has 11 hives, I think, so he has a lot of bees. And he's just trying to get rid of a few. He only lives a couple miles away from the market, so it should be a pretty quick trip, and I'll have some more bees next weekend. Today is August 17th. Had a nice little storm just come through. I think I might actually need to move the chicken net today. The pearl whites might not have enough room, maybe. It's kind of at an angle here, so we'll see. I haven't had to move this net since I popped up the second new one. It's just been one massive circle, so we'll see how that goes if I wind up having to move that today. All right, chickens, last call on eggs. I usually go ahead and move the coop, grab eggs, food and water and all that stuff first. Then at the end I'll go around and see if there's any more eggs. There's one that was just laid. It's one of those really pretty ones. The Speckled Sussex aren't laying quite yet. Just a couple more weeks though and they'll be good to go. See if the Americana's got anything in here. It doesn't look like it. A few hens in the box though. The pearl whites have already laid all theirs. They're my most consistent group of chickens as far as how many eggs I get every day and the time of day they lay. They lay them all in the morning and they're done. So I got 16 from them. It's always really consistent 16. The others, it's kind of lay throughout the day and it's never really consistent on how many you're gonna get from day to day. But I got lucky, didn't have to move the net. I finagled it a little bit just to give myself a little bit more room there. So tomorrow I will have to move all this net. Howdy y'all, today is August 18th. I am going to take 2 roosters from the chick coop and put them out in their new coops. Gonna sit here and kind of look through. I have a lot of Americana roosters to choose from, so I'm gonna try and get the one that's the most Americana-ish, because I got them from a hatcher that said that they were Americanas, but some of their characteristics weren't consistent with the true Americana. So I'm gonna kind of comb through them, pick out the best looking one, and then I am gonna go ahead and replace Rusty as well. And originally when I got these chicks back, I didn't see any influence of Rusty, but now that they're older, I definitely see a few that are definitely some of his. So I'm gonna replace Rusty with one of his chicks, and then yeah, everybody else I don't need. So I have 2 pretty solid candidates for the Americana rooster. Americanas will have muffs and beards together, which most all of these do, so that's good. But also if you look at their legs, Americanas typically have a slate color, kind of gray look to their legs. This guy here on the left with no tail. Not really looking at him as far as a candidate at all, but it's kind of the leg color, maybe even a little darker. And this white one right here has some nice coloring, got a little bit of a beard going. He's got those perfectly slate looking legs. He's got a pea comb, and he just overall looks really nice. So I think I'll have him as my Americana rooster. The other option was the dark one in the middle there. He's also got the really nice legs. He's got great colors, nice tail, pea-comb, muffs, puffs, all that stuff. I did have a dark rooster beforehand, so I think I'm just going to switch it up and go with the lighter one, which is that guy over there. As far as the replacement for Rusty, there's a couple good looking ones, but really just one that's been standing out to me. And it's the one in the far back looking up at us. Well, they all kind of are, but the furthest back. He's got really bright red wattle and comb. Those are the red parts on him, their head. He's got a really nice red color. There's not a lot of variation in the color, but it's a solid color. Looks really good, sturdy legs, looks healthy. So I think I'm gonna go with that one for the Rusty replacement. There's some other good options in here, but he's just been standing out to me. That one next to him is huge. That's a buff Marin cross for sure right there, and I don't need any of them. So anyways, I'm gonna get those two loaded up. Alright, so I've got the rooster sitting in the shade by the woods. I've got to take this net down. I'm at least going to peel it back, move the coops, and then I'll put the roosters in. After that, I'll work on moving the entire fence. This pasture is super thick. I love how well this is growing. Once you get in with the chickens inside the net, it's up to your knees. It is some lush, thick stuff. I love it. I didn't even think to put the roosters in 2 different carriers. I was just making sure they had a buddy on the car ride. It does make it a little more difficult letting them out. But since the Americana rooster's up front, I'm gonna hold the other guy back and let that one out first. Well, that was super simple. They're both kind of in shock still, with everything going on, so the other guy didn't even move. But he should have some friends in here because he knows quite a few of the hens already. It's this other guy that's not going to know anybody from the pearl whites. And chickens don't recognize their parents, at least when they're this age. We'll give this guy a little time to come out. As far as the pearl whites, the one that was injured is this one up here. She's getting around just fine. Rusty, be nice. Rusty is not really thrilled about this new rooster in here. So far I've got one net moved, one more to go. Alright y'all, I am out putting some more bedding material into the nesting boxes, and the Speckled Sussex coop's right behind me. Last week I started putting some material in the boxes just so they get used to what a nest looks like and get familiar with it, because they're due to start laying in September sometime. But just in case they start laying early, I've been peeking my head in there every day to check it out, and today I got an egg, so that's super cool. First Speckled Sussex egg. Super teeny tiny. They'll get bigger as they get a little older, but super cool to see. Out picking tomatoes for the farmer's market tomorrow. I haven't looked at my tomatoes in a while. That thing is massive. I don't remember what this one was. I feel like it was a Brandywine. There's a couple really big ones on there, but I'll have to look. It's a real bummer. I have a ton of these yellow pear tomatoes. I've been getting a ton off them, but every single one has a split on it. Just been getting so much rain that they're all cracking on me, so they're already kind of a small tomato, so it's not like you can really salvage it. The chickens have been really enjoying them though. I mean, every time you think you get a good one, there's a split, so I have, how many of those plants? 2, 4, 6, 8. I have 8 of those. And they're all producing really well. But just haven't got one off of them because all the rain we've been getting and all the splits. My black cream tomatoes have just been pretty miserable. They come out turning ugly, but I think a big reason is, I don't know if you can see in those slits, are these black beetles. There's one there. They seem to absolutely love this variety and they are chewing them up really bad. I think I've maybe gotten 2 out of 50 that have been, you know, good looking, but most are just ugly. I think all the rain, they're starting to split, and then these little black beetles get in there and chew them up the rest of the way. So that's a bummer, but the chickens have been enjoying them, so at least they're getting eaten.